This is Hinoka, the eldest princess of the Hoshidan royal family. You can probably tell at a glance that she's pretty intense. She's got the tomboy energy down to a T, but her rough, direct way of doing things doesn't come from recklessness alone. It comes from compassion and her past. She was very close to Korn before he was abducted and taken to Nor. She was too young to do anything at the time, and understandably, there wasn't much she could have done, but she's always blamed herself for it regardless. Instead of staying complacent, she trained relentlessly to become a Sky Knight from a very young age. The training wasn't easy. Let's just say she wasn't exactly a natural, but she stuck with it and eventually improved. Today, she's one of Hoshido's strongest aerial fighters. Over the years, she repeatedly attempted to rescue Korn from Nor, but was stopped each time by Makoto and her older brother. And for good reason. No matter how skilled she is, taking on an entire army isn't exactly a realistic plan. Unless you're Mr. Lobster Lord over here, apparently, because he is busted. Anyway, when Hinoka finally reunites with Korn, she's overjoyed, as you can imagine. But that happiness doesn't really last long. Makoto's death soon follows, and war breaks out between Hoshido and Nor. If Korn sides with Hoshido, Hinoka fights alongside them during the war, protecting and supporting them whenever she can. If Korn sides with Nor, however, her and her siblings are devastated. After finally getting him back, only to lose him again to the enemy, it's a pretty painful blow. It's not quite that simple, though. Even on the Nor route, Korn intends to overthrow Garen, and despite clashing multiple times, Hinoka and her forces are always spared. Even the Norian royals go out of their way to ensure her survival. And of course, like the other siblings, she eventually joins Korn's army in Revelation. Hinoka was actually a very sensitive child growing up, but that abduction became a major turning point for her. Since then, she's been the type to rush headfirst into danger, always putting herself on the line. But underneath all that intensity, she's very compassionate, someone who genuinely cares for her soldiers, and even goes out of her way to learn their names. She isn't who she is because she's reckless. She is who she is because she cares, which is why she's one of my favorites among the royals.